In this episode, we deconstruct fear. We offer practical ways to protect your mindset,
so we're able to stay strong, healthy and happy in body, mind and spirit. We will survive these times.
Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Midlife Mentors.
It's Claire.
And James here.
Calling it an addition.
An edition.
Love it.
An episode.
An addition.
Today we're going to talk about something very current. We're going to talk about fear.
He's doing it massively.
My fear voice.
Oh dear, already you can see this is going to be... We're going to lift spirits here. We're going to lift spirits. Obviously, in the world right now when this is going out, this is... Oh, I am with you doing that. We're on the 18th of March here, guys. This is also, it's going to be going live tonight. And
tomorrow night, isn't it? Thursday.
No. Oh, it is. I don't know what day I'm on, guys. Yes, it goes out on a Thursday evening. Yeah, obviously the current situation that's going on across the world is quite unprecedented and extraordinary. And although we don't want to focus too much just specifically on the virus and the economic situation that's going on, this episode we're going to talk about fear kind of applies to everyday life before this ever even happened, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, so just put you in the picture. If you're listening to this in the future, or even like hundreds of years from now.
I feel like it is like a sci-fi film.
Yeah,
though.
the current status is... Europe certainly is in a state of total lockdown. The US also, in terms of like borders are shut, there's practically no travel between countries. A lot of European countries are actually like in a total lockdown. People aren't allowed to leave their homes. So it's uncertain times. And then of course, we've got a new unknown virus that they're still working on a vaccine for. And of course, off the back of all that, of course, a lot of economic activity has halted completely. It starts at the grassroots level with self-employed people and small one- and two-man bands, like little coffee shops, stuff like that, have to close. So we'll see what the ramifications are down the line. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're talking about how to manage your anxiety and your fear through this tricky period.
Yeah, uncertainty, fear, it's all wrapped up into one, really. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Just we want to say so deeply from our hearts and our souls that we feel you, we're with you. This is one of the most beautiful things about hosting a podcast is we can be wherever you are, basically, sharing our message, making you feel connected. There are lots of people at home, sent home from work. You are potentially, a little bit lonely, alienated, or you've got your children, your partner at home, and you're all driving each other up the wall. Your routines just aren't where they were at all. So it is going to feel really, really disruptive. And a way that we can hopefully make you feel, more secure is by connecting with you in this way. And we just want you to know that, our hearts go out to every single one of you. That's all I wanted to say just before we dive in, really.
Yeah, and just to say as well, to add to that, of course, we're going to round the podcast up with practical tips you can implement.
Absolutely.
Right, so fear. What is fear? What is an amazing evolutionary response. That's kept us alive, basically. Because if we didn't have fear, the human race would have died out long ago. It'd be like, oh, look at that big tiger with huge teeth there. I'm not afraid of it at all. And we all know how that would end.
James is like that with me every morning.
So that's where our fear comes from. It's a survival mechanism, and it's important about it as well. It's a survival mechanism, and most of us don't want to be living in a surviving state. We want to be living in a thriving state. So that's the first really important point to make.
It's biology, guys. It's actually a biological thing. It's an energetic thing.
Yeah, so it's a biological response. We're hardwired into it, and within the body, there's a load of biological processes that go on when we face a fearful situation. So we've all heard, I guess, of fight or flight. It's the classic one, and we've probably all experienced that. Something happens in your life. I don't know. What's a good example? A car crash, or you're at the zoo and a lion actually escapes in front of you. That one's out there.
Is that too much coffee this morning? Really? You never do out there.
We've had those moments. And you know how your body responds? You're kind of like,
yeah.
And you go all shaky and you're all like, primed. And basically, like, your body's making an instant decision whether to fight the threat or flight, to run away from it. And there's all kinds of internal things going on there. So basically what happens is we release a whole cocktail of hormones. The main ones that we know of are like adrenaline and cortisol. So we talk about, adrenaline junkies, the adrenaline hit. So they smash out. Basically, they're priming your body for action. And what happens is all the blood goes to the muscles. It leaves areas like the stomach, the internal organs, because it's going where it needs it right now. Which is like, you're going to fight for your life or you're going to run for your life. So that's what happens. The thing is, this biological response was designed exactly that, like immediate close danger. So a spike and surge in energy. There are all these stories about people doing like amazing feats, like when one of their loved ones is trapped under a car and they can lift it off, even though they would never. This is the adrenaline surge, right? You can do amazing things. But it's designed for that very specific period in time, and we're not going to face those dangers over and over and over and over.
I think sometimes it like takes the edge off it a little bit when you understand that it's a biological thing. It's not just a feeling, guys. I think this is where people are like, I feel fear. Actually, what's happening is it takes the edge off it. It's a biological response that's actually happening in your body to make it feel a certain way, and then physically it feels a certain way, and then it's just a feedback loop, and it draws and draws and draws this fear up and up and up and up. And like right now we're in a time where we do need to talk about this. Everyone, we've heard these things before, choose fear over love, blah blah blah. I've read 1,000 books on this, but actually it's really, really important to know what's happening, to give you power, because right now you are going to need to master this fear. We're not ever saying that it's going to go away. It's a really important thing to say right at the beginning here, guys. No one is ever exempt from fear. Everyone always feels it, and everyone's going to have the same biological response. It's not going to go away. I don't like using the word successful people do, but happy people, healthy people, yes, successful people do, is actually feel the fear, as the book says, and do it anyway. They move forward. They've actually learned not to let the fear hold them back from moving forward. And it's a really important thing to talk about this right now, because we do need to understand how it's impacting everything and how to deal with it.
Yeah, it's a really important point there. A lot of people will say, I want to eliminate fear from my life.
You won't.
I want to feel no fear. Not possible. What you do is like you manage fear. People who have fear as part of their profession, like firefighters or the military, they're basically like trained to manage the fear, not to like get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's really important to notice that you can't get rid of it. You've just got to learn to manage it and work with it.
Yeah.
The point you're making about the biological response that's largely out of your control is also, that is designed, like we said, for an immediate threat there and then. What happens in modern society, we're often stuck in a medium level of that stress response all the time, with like bombardment of emails at the moment, like bombardment of news, of headlines, of going to the supermarkets, of seeing like no food, of seeing like video footage of cities shut down and empty streets. So what we can do, though, is try and lessen the impact we have and like calm our reptilian mind and reassure it that actually this fear, thank you, but we can just bring the response down. There's no immediate threat or danger to us, and we can learn to manage it.
Yeah, and I think at the moment, like we'll keep hammering this home and keep giving you strategies because we love you all. But actually, the mind is the engine that drives the machine of everything else. it's important right now to have these strategies in place to protect your mind, because if it doesn't, as James has explained from the physiology, if we don't, the body's actually immune system is going to be lower. So what is happening here? Being in a state of fear is actually going to lower your immune system because it impacts it so dramatically. I hope you see that. So more than anything, that's what we want to do on this podcast episode, is kind of give you strategies for your mind. Yeah, go on, James. You're about to. I heard a great intake of breath then. Go on.
No, I'll say I'll just spot on there actually, and it's yeah. We're
thank you.
Going to give you some strategies to, like, actually.
It's like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's like, to deal with it. Here's the thing, right? Because of the neurological pathways, we can actually condition ourselves to pivot. So imagine, like, your job is. I keep thinking about lions and zoos today. If you're a zoo and you're a lion keeper, right? Lions are really, really scary. And if you're, imagine first day on the job, you've got to go in the lion cage. It's going to be really, really scary. What happens over time is that fear doesn't go, but you change to manage it to respect through familiarity. So this is what we can do. If people are afraid of spiders, if you just like give them build up, so soon they end up holding like a massive hairy spider in their hand, and they're not afraid anymore because you're building a familiarity and taking the fear away from the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what we want to do with the current thing.
Well, I hope we're hammering home enough that actually, it's this fear, this anxiety is actually from a virus perspective. You're going to be lowering your immune system. So we really, really need to keep a strong, healthy mindset and master it. There's an acronym actually that I've always loved, which is that fear. Fear is a construct of our mind. We get to choose how much power we give it. But actually, it's expecting things that aren't actually in reality yet. And the acronym that I love is false expectations appearing real. So what we're doing, we're creating fear in our minds and in our body that's appearing real. And the word here is appearing. It's actually not happened yet, or it's not happening to us. And we're kind of like, what we're doing is building the worst case scenario. We're focusing on what we don't want instead of what we do. And the thing is, what happens with that, like I always say, energy flows where focus goes. So we've said this so many, if you've listened to our other podcasts, what you focus on over and over and over and over again is what you are going to get over time. We all think like negative thoughts or things that, we all worry about things. But what we really want to be conscious of and aware of is how much of that time we're in anxiety and fear. So you get to choose your mindset. You're using your imagination, our God-given, very religious. Imagination is a God-given gift. It's beautiful. So again, everything you see now that's not in the natural world was born in someone's imagination. It's powerful. It can be used for greatness, but it can also very frequently be used to tear you down. You're tearing yourself down by being in this fear, by imagining the worst case scenario for yourself.
I think I love this quote, and I'm pretty sure it's Mark Twain. I spent most of my life worrying about things that never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is what happens. We can become hooked almost.
Yeah, like a drug.
Yeah,
like a drug.
On the worry of what could happen, and focusing on the worst case scenario of what could happen instead of being like, oh, what could happen that would be amazing and great.
And James actually said something to me yesterday, again, walking home from the gym, having lots of deep conversations, walking past the Royal Free Hospital, about scarcity mindset.
Oh yes, we've seen a lot of this. So modern society, like I think a lot of people have done a lot of work on not having a scarcity mindset, but I would say the evidence we're seeing in the supermarkets around the country suggests otherwise, right? So I'll just say, bear with me on this. Our supply chain has not been disrupted in terms of food. We're not suddenly like way less edible plants and animals available. The food is still there. The supply chain is still the same. People are just buying out of all proportion to what they need. And they'll tell themselves it's because they're being careful or protecting themselves or their loved ones. Right? No, what actually is this scarcity mindset? The belief under that is like, there is not enough to go around.
I don't have enough.
There is not enough to go around.
I'm not going to survive.
I'm not going to survive. There's not enough to go around. The problem is when everyone starts doing it, or a lot of people start doing it, then the shelves become empty, and that panics more people. But just chill. Like, I choose to believe there is enough to go around. The supply chain is intact. The deliveries will keep coming. At some point, these people that fill their freezers with like meat are going to have to stop buying it. They're going to have to put it, and they won't eat it all. But just take a moment and check. This is a really important point. If you just go look in your cupboards or your fridge now, right, and if you have like more stuff in there than you would have at, say, Christmas time, then you have a scarcity mindset, and you need to have and that means that in some respect you have a belief about scarcity and are living in fear. So that's a really clear visual indication you'll be able to see to yourself. So have a check on that. And then what I'd add to that, which is going to be uncomfortable for some of you, is have a think about how your behaviour is impacting other people.
Oh, I was going to say that. It's your children. Totally.
Think about the example you may be setting to your children.
I thought that earlier on today.
It's not too long ago we were saying be kind. Exactly. But now it just be like everyone out for themselves.
I saw this great meme. It was hashtag be kind. Now it's hashtag I'll look after my effing self, basically. Yeah. I'm just going to go in and not think about other people. And like James is so right. I was thinking this because I saw a lady like hoarding stuff in M&S and her child with her, and she looked really panicked, and she was asking the assistant in there for like, where's this, where's that, how much loo roll can I have? And I was like, what example are we sending to our children? There is not enough. We are panicked. We do not think we can survive. That is the mindset, and that's the energy that's out in the world. And you are going to pick up on that energy, yes, but it's your responsibility whether you take that in or whether you turn it around and stay in the light. Stay in the light, guys. It's and we're going to give you some strategies in a minute about what we're using, because obviously it impacts everyone. You'd be like, dug in a ground or something, like if you're not being impacted by this, you're just you've got your head in the sand. But what we're trying to do here is give you some strategies about how you can focus on the good stuff so you don't get drawn into it like everyone else is. What I would say is, just before we go in to give you some tips, use this as an opportunity to slow down. You are being forced to slow down. Okay, we both are very, very kind of, I hate using this word, but very spiritual, right? I feel like we operate with this understanding that something has happened here that is designed and destined to slow us down and make us focus on what is important. It's an opportunity to go within. It's an opportunity to be grateful. That's one of the things we're going to say in a minute. Like, it's an opportunity to be grateful. It's an opportunity to love harder and to value life more. It's an opportunity to be more present. Stop thinking about when I get the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. It's about being present with what you have right now. There's nothing like a crisis to zone you in on what's really important.
Yeah, and also be aware there'll be people around you that are less able to cope with this because they're elderly or they're infirm or whatever. And just think about maybe how you could help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this goes on to one of our tips.
That will also help mitigate your fear, weirdly.
This is one of our tips, actually. So actually what we want to say to you is move into a place of gratitude and giving. There is so much research around, especially giving, right? At this time, when we want to close down, our natural instinct is to close down and be in fear. Open yourself up. Giving has actually been proven to release the hormone oxytocin. And it's actually called a giving high that lasts for about 2 hours after you've had that hit of oxytocin. And they've also looked, and you basically, when you give, they've seen the impact at 3 degrees. So you basically, giving out impacts 3 other people, and then those 3 people go out and go out. That's what paying it forward is all based around. It's based around this research.
Yeah. Are we on our 4 tips, or I'm a bit confused where we got to? Gratitude and giving. So
yeah.
We have. I'd say, like, in these times, what I do every morning when you wake up, don't look at the news and stuff like that. Don't go in there, because that will just trigger your fear place right off the bat. Ground yourself. Take a bit of paper. Just spend 2 to 5 minutes writing down the things you're grateful for in your life right now. And then, like Claire said, think of a way you can give. That doesn't have to be like,
every day,
going out and giving money out to people, or going out and giving food. I think it's great food. Like, maybe just reach out to your neighbours, to your community. Is there anyone you can help? Is there something a message you could send someone? If you've got like extended family haven't spoken to for ages, like they're probably stuck at home as well. Get online, use all the wonderful technology we have to have a chat and make connections and just find out how everyone is.
Yeah, give, because in actually giving, you're making that person feel good. They're going to want to make the next person feel good, but you're also releasing those feel good hormones. James actually touched on something a minute ago about just be really intentional about how you're setting up your day. Listen, guys, think about what you're feeding yourself. And I don't mean food. Think about what you are watching, how much you're obsessing over things. This is not going to do you any good, and it is only going to raise your fear levels. So, yes, keep abreast of what's going on, but stop obsessing for your own sanity.
Second tip. Focus on cultivating a positive mindset. Listen, there's loads of research from psychology on basically looking at things like optimism and luck. Really important notes here. Like, people who see themselves as optimistic or lucky, it's not that then bad things don't happen to them in life. They just are more resilient emotionally and mentally to deal with them. Proven fact with all the research. Astonishing fact is, though, people who are optimistic or who believe they're lucky actually are more lucky. And we're still trying to dig into that. It could be energetic, it could be reticular activation in terms of what you're looking out for. You see more, bring more into your life, you're more aware of. But all the research says, if you're optimistic, if you're positive, if you believe you're lucky, then you will be more that way. So be glass half full. Yeah,
absolutely. It's all around the quantum physics, sending out that little spider's web of energy.
Yeah.
And the last one really is just like surrender, guys. Accept and surrender. It might be easy for you to say. Yes, it's I know that comes across potentially as, surrender, accept, let go. I tell you what, the more you hold on to the outcome and try and push things in a scenario where you have no idea and no control over what's going on, you are just going to create more stress, more fear for yourself. Everyone's in the same boat. No one knows what's going to happen. Surrender and let go. This is where peace is. This is where contentment is. Let that just resonate. I'm going to leave you on that tip with something I said to my client the other day. This is just a phrase that I'm giving out to my clients. Just take some nice deep breaths and just say, this anxiety is not mine. This fear is not mine. I release it. I am safe. This fear is not mine. I release it. I am safe. That's it.
Gorgeous.
Today, guys. I hope that helped. Kind of like just flowed with that one. So, as we always try to, when it's too rigid, that's when it goes wrong for us. We just like banter off each other, don't we?
Yeah, so remember, we would love to hear how you're going to grow during this time. What things are you going to do now you've got this extra time in your hands? So pop us an email, james@themidlifementors.com or claire@themidlifementors.com. We'd love to hear it. We love hearing from you. Stay healthy, stay happy.
Absolutely. And guys, we're going to be sending out some free stuff really, really soon. So actually pop along to the Midlife Mentors website. So it's www.themidlifementors.com, and there's going to be like a little tab there at some point just giving away some free stuff. We just need to get it up. But we've basically down-tooled on everything else that we were working on just so we can get some stuff out to you and support you and inspire you as much as possible in a difficult time. So we love you very, very much. And as James said, let us know how you are going to use this as an opportunity. Okay, big hugs.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under The Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.